Buying a gaming laptop isn't easy as there are many options, with new models released every year sporting increasingly more powerful CPUs and GPUs. On top of that, a CPU or GPU might perform very differently from one laptop to another due to their power draw and the chassis thermal limitations, making the buying decision even harder. To help you, we've narrowed down the best laptops and configurations to give you the smoothest gaming experience for various price segments. We bought and tested over 90 laptops. Below are our recommendations for the best gaming laptops you can buy. You can also see our recommendations for the best laptops, the best budget and cheap gaming laptops, and the best Windows laptops. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices like the video comment. And don't forget to subscribe now. Let's get started. Number 5. Dell Alienware 18. The best gaming laptop we've tested is the Dell Alienware 18 2023. This massive 18-inch beast provides a fantastic gaming experience at 1080p or 1440p. It's available with high-performance AMD Ryzen 7000 CPUs and discrete AMD and NVIDIA GPUs up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 laptop GPU. Due to the chassis size and the cooling system, the CPU and GPU can perform at their maximum with no slowdowns, resulting in high, consistent frame rates. Memory and storage max out at 64 GB and 8.5 TB respectively, and they're user replaceable. Display options include FHD plus 480Hz and a 165Hz QHD plus IPS panel, so you can choose whether you want smoother motion and better responsiveness or a sharper image. There are also two keyboard options, one with scissor switches and the other with low-profile, clicky cherry-nose mechanical switches. You get Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity and an Ethernet port for a reliable internet connection when playing online. The biggest downside is portability, as this is a big, bulky, and heavy laptop that's more of a desktop replacement than a device for on-the-go use. Also, the fans are literal jet engines. You can get this laptop directly from Dell if you have trouble finding it elsewhere. Check out the Razer Blade 14 2023 if you want a more portable laptop. It's also a premium model that provides an excellent gaming experience. It's significantly thinner and lighter, so it's easier to carry around, and it still packs plenty of processing power to push high frame rates in demanding games. The trade-off is that this is an older model with NVIDIA 30 series GPUs, which lack frame generation, a feature that boosts frame rates by inserting artificially generated frames in supported games. Not many games currently support this feature, but as we've seen with DLSS, that number will likely grow quickly. Number 4. Lenovo Legion Pro 5 Gen 816. Our best mid-range gaming laptop pick is the Lenovo Legion Pro 5 Gen 816 2023. Like our top pick, this 16-inch model is available with AMD Ryzen 7000 CPUs and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 40 series GPUs, though only up to an RTX 4070. You can get up to 32 GB of RAM and 1 TB of storage. Both are user replaceable. The base RTX 4050 GPU can push high frame rates in demanding games, but you may have to lower the settings or play at 1080p. If you want to play all of your games at the display's native QHD plus resolution, it's best to upgrade to a 4060 or 4070. As for the display, you have two refresh rate options, 165Hz and 240Hz. Both support VRR to reduce screen tearing. The build quality is great. It doesn't feel as premium as our top pick, but it feels sturdy. It has a tactile, full-size keyboard, Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity, and tons of ports including an HDMI 2.1 and Ethernet. The fans get pretty loud, but on the upside, neither the CPU nor the GPU throttles underload, so you won't get performance dips when playing for an extended period. Unfortunately, this laptop and its power adapter are bulky and heavy, and the battery lasts less than 5 hours of light use. The Lenovo Legion 5 Pro is excellent for gaming. Its AMD Ryzen 7000 CPU and NVIDIA RTX 40 series GPU can push high frame rates to deliver a smooth gaming experience at 1080p or 1440p. The display has a fast response time, resulting in a clear image in fast-moving scenes, and it supports VRR to reduce screen tearing. There's no thermal throttling on the CPU or GPU, so you won't experience any performance loss when gaming for an extended period. However, the fans get pretty loud. The SSD has incredibly fast read speed, which is great for gaming as it helps reduce loading times. Plus, the storage is user replaceable, and so is the RAM. The battery lasts only an hour or so in gaming, but on the upside, it charges very quickly. Number 3. Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. If you're shopping on a more limited budget, consider the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 2023. This all-AMD system sports an AMD Ryzen 9 6900HS CPU, and you can choose between an AMD Radeon RX 6700S or 6800S GPU. Both GPUs provide smooth gameplay and triple titles at the display's native QHD resolution. As for the display itself, the 120Hz IPS panel has a fast response time to deliver a clear image in fast-moving scenes and FreeSync support to reduce screen tearing. The storage maxes out at 1 TB, which isn't very much considering the size of modern AAA games. However, it's user upgradable. Ports include 2 USB-As, 2 USB-Cs, an HDMI, and an SD card reader. One last thing, there's a newer and more expensive model of the G14 with AMD Ryzen 7000 CPUs and NVIDIA 40 series GPUs, and consequently, this 2022 model is often on sale at around $1,200 USD, so it's a great time to pick one up. The ACS RLG Zephyrus G14 is great for gaming. It has a QHD 120Hz display with a fast response time to deliver a clear image in fast-moving scenes, and it supports VRR to reduce screen tearing. Its AMD CPU and GPU provide a smooth gaming experience in 1080p and 1440p, though you'll have to turn the settings down a bit at 1440p to reach 60 FPS in some games. Unfortunately, it gets hot and loud under load, and the GPU throttles slightly. Number 2. Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3. If you want to spend as little as possible, pick the Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3 2023. Though entirely plastic, this 15.6-inch model feels surprisingly sturdy, especially for a model in its price range. For a little over $800 USD, you can get a configuration with an AMD Ryzen 5 5600H CPU, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti GPU, 8GB of RAM, and 512 GB of storage. This CPU and GPU combination can deliver a solid 60 gaming experience at 1080p with most titles. 8GB of RAM isn't ideal for gaming, and you'll quickly run out of space with only 512 GB of storage. Thankfully, you can upgrade these components yourself later on. As for display, this model sports a 120Hz IPS panel. Its response time is rather slow, but it's still better than a basic 60Hz panel and supports VRR to reduce screen tearing. Unfortunately, this laptop does get hot and loud under load, and the battery lasts less than an hour when gaming, which is normal but still disappointing. One last note, cheaper variants are around $650 USD. However, those models have a GTX 1650 GPU, which doesn't perform quite as well as the RTX 3050 Ti. It may be worth it if you only play lighter, less graphically intensive games. The Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 315 is good for gaming. Its AMD Ryzen CPU and NVIDIA dedicated GPU could deliver a smooth gaming experience at 1080p, though you have to make sure to get 16GB of memory, as the 8GB configuration will result in lower frame rates and frequent stutters. Thankfully, it's easy to access the internals for upgrades, so you can do it yourself later on. Its 120Hz display delivers a relatively clear image in fast-moving scenes. However, its slow response time causes noticeable ghosting. There's a 165Hz panel option available if you want even smoother gameplay, though you'll need to go up to an RTX 3060 to make the most of it. There's very little performance loss when performing intensive tasks, but the fans get pretty loud. Number 1. Acer Chromebook 516GE. The best gaming Chromebook we've tested is the Acer Chromebook 516GE 2022. Unlike our picks above, this device runs Chrome OS, an operating system that isn't typically associated with gaming, and it runs on its Intel CPU's integrated graphics. It's because it's made for cloud gaming services like NVIDIA GeForce and OK. Cloud gaming means the processing takes place on NVIDIA's server, or whichever company provides the service, and the image is streamed to your device, alleviating the need for powerful hardware. GeForce NO is a paid subscription service. The laptop comes with a 3-month trial. The overall build quality is good, and while it's on the bulkier side, it isn't too heavy, so it's still portable. Its 16-inch QHD Plus display has a 120Hz refresh rate and a good response time, resulting in a clear image with minimal ghosting and fast-moving scenes. You get Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity and an Ethernet port, which is great, as cloud gaming performance highly depends on your internet connection. The keyboard feels spacious and tactile, doesn't get hot under load, and has RGB backlighting. Unfortunately, its battery life is very short at around 6 hours of light use or an hour of gaming. The Acer Chromebook 516G isn't designed for gaming in the same sense as a Windows laptop, since it only runs on integrated graphics. Instead, it's designed for cloud gaming through services like NVIDIA GeForce and ODEVE. It has a nice 120Hz display and a comfortable keyboard, and it doesn't get hot or loud under load. It has Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity and an Ethernet port, which is great as cloud gaming performance will depend heavily on your internet connection.